Welcome to the Easy Project. It's Eddie and my boy Zeb, and we've got a special guest on, my man, Joel Thompson. What's up, bro?
Hey,
What's going on, bros? How you been, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. Hey, looking forward to being on here.
Hey, before we start every episode, we always do the flowers, man.
Flowers, bro.
We do flowers, but we'll keep it nice and short. I struggled with last week's one, but yeah,
From
here we
the
go,
heart.
bro. Hear me out, bros. All right, Joel Thompson is a former NRL player known for his time with the Canberra Raiders, St George Illawarra Dragons, and the Manly Seagulls. Beyond his impressive rugby career, Joel is a passionate advocate for mental health and Indigenous rights.
Nice.
So he has used his platform to raise awareness and support for mental well-being, particularly with Indigenous communities. Since retiring, Joel has continued his impactful work, focusing on empowering young Indigenous athletes and promoting cultural identity and mental health. Owner of the YAKKA RTO Company and a current NRL Ambassador, delivering the State of Mind program to junior clubs around Australia. Welcome to the Easy Project, Joel Thompson.
Thank
Ooh,
you.
Jolie T.
That's
What an
nice,
intro.
bro.
What
Hey,
an
you like
intro.
that one, eh, bros?
Hey, short and sharp.
Short and sharp,
Short and
eh?
sharp is the
Hey,
way to
I
go.
Straight to the point.
Hey, all right.
Hey,
Yeah,
all right.
Hey, you know
Shorter,
what?
hey,
It's a
hey.
lot of chat GPT, but I said, hey, shorter.
Short
Short
that down.
Short
that down.
down.
What's been happening, bro? How's things, man?
Things are good. As we had a quick yarn there earlier, just business life, trying to get the balance right.
Yeah.
But no, things are good. Things are good.
How's the body? You still playing, eh?
The
Still
body,
good, eh?
the body's, it's okay. I played yesterday. We played against, our last round game for the year, and yeah, no, it was good. As I was saying earlier, it's not where it used to be. Like it's me, I'm trying to put hits on. I'm coming off second best.
Yeah.
I'm just, it happens, right, with age. But I'm still enjoying that competitive side and getting out there, having a run with the younger ones.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's crazy. I remember we played at the beginning of the year in the Nines Premier League for the Sharma group, and we're like just looking at each other and goes, why are we doing this, man? And then he goes, well, you're going to play another year, bro. Wow.
Yeah, no, definitely. Even like, especially in players, when you're trying to trying to grab them and ragdoll them or trying to put a hit on and they're stepping around you. And I played against Burleigh early in the year and I tried to put a hit on and the young fella just laughed at me. And I went, damn, that actually hurts a little bit. Eh?
Do you reckon it's worse because they know you've played NRL? And
Yeah.
they come after you. They're just like, nah, let's go after him.
Mate, it's like that, bro. Like, it's like, that's when you start thinking, man, I do value my reputation, eh?
Well, the thing is, it's worse, right? Because they think that, NRL, you're meant to be the superstar,
Yeah.
you're doing everything.
Yeah.
I was just I was a battler, man. I just feel like got through my work. But I play in the Curry knockout. I have since I was a young fella, and even there, like they think you're going to be this like next level, throwing cutout balls, chip and chat, like you're going to be an absolute superstar. Nah, just give me the ball, I'll run harder.
Yeah.
And just, but it's
100%.
good. That's
Man,
good.
those Curry knockouts.
Oh,
and
bro,
all
I'll
that,
never
man.
play
Oh,
that,
man,
bro.
I'll,
No way.
hey, shout out to everyone that plays in that.
Oh, bro.
But that's the thing, right? I played my first one when I was 17, 18, around that age. And it really showed me what it takes to that type of toughness, like just getting absolutely smashed. And you had no other option but to get back up and keep on ripping in and going.
100%.
It's good. I love it. My wife, I said earlier, she questioned me, like, are you going to still play? I said, I'm just going to keep on going until I'm fully broken
the wheels
down.
fall
And
off,
that's
eh?
it. Till the wheels are fully... They're starting to wobble, like the wheels are wobbling, but they're still on there just.
So you reckon you're going to go again next year?
I'll see how the body, like I said, I'll just take it year by year, get this year done, and if I'm feeling good, I'll probably have that moment, sign myself up and go, oh, what have I done here a couple of weeks into it? But definitely the Curry knockout, because I see a lot out there playing who are old and they're just out there still competitive, having a run. I'm like, I could still do that.
So
eh?
who's the team you usually play for?
I play for WACK, so Walgett Aboriginal Connection. So I played for them when I was young. So I was, and known them for a very long time there. But my family originally from a place called Griffith Freeways. So I get ripped into from family members and people in the community. Oh, you don't even play for your own mob. But only reason is I played for them when I was young and I sort of had that loyalty to stay solid and to stick through. And
true.
still trotting around there, eh?
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, let's start it off, eh?
Yeah, man.
Bro, give us a rundown of your childhood, man. Where you grew up.
Childhood, yep. I guess my childhood, well, I moved around a lot as a young one, like a young fella, sorry. All across New South Wales country and different towns. And, I guess faced the challenges that a lot of young ones are facing, what I'm seeing out there at the moment. And but with that, I still had some really good people around me, people that really helped me, shape me, be a better person as I grew up. And I guess, just like most kids, just love sports, trying to go to school and stay in school, trying to stay out of trouble, those type of things. But like I said, cool experiences, some challenging, tough times there, no doubt. But I guess it did help me to be who I am now, and I guess a big drive in what I'm doing.
So where is home?
Where is home? That's the question, eh? Because I've got so many different hometowns. Eh? I claim so many. Whoever I'm talking to, that's my hometown. But originally, home is for me a little place called Ivanhoe, New South Wales country. It's quite remote actually, but that's where my grandmother is, and that's our country out that way. And like it's 200 k's away from the nearest place. It's pretty much red dirt country. Yeah. We had a jail there. Put up our population a bit, but they actually shut that down, which sucks because it dropped our population. But went out there as a young fella into my nan's care. My nan took me in and helped raise me and really changed the path of where I was heading. And that's where I really do call home. Ivanhoe.
Ivanhoe, that's near. Is that Griffith? Not far?
Yeah. You go to Griffith in another 3 hours, country. I was saying earlier about playing footy. I actually played for Ivanhoe last year. From my nan going, son, come and play for Ivanhoe. I said, Nan, I'm living in the Gold Coast here. I'm not around the corner here. So I was flying from, obviously Gold Coast, Sydney to Wagga Wagga or Griffith and getting a hire car, getting a car, and then driving hours again to play a game of football. And that was what I was
Was that
doing.
week in, week out?
Week in, week out. So I only ended up playing probably, I don't know how many. I didn't play all the games. I couldn't, it ended up costing me a fortune.
True.
My missus you need to slow down with because I was going out there, I was spending 4 or 5 away from my family, and then I was obviously paying for my own flights and accommodate or whatever it is. Yeah. So I went out there and played, and it actually makes this suck. It could have been like a fairy tale, right? I'm mad, good, going back to the community doing this. Yeah. We lost in the grand final in extra time and got beat, which hurts me even thinking about it now. Saying it, which would have been an absolute dream if we end up winning it, but we lost. Which that's footy, eh?
Yeah, that's the power of rugby league game, man. It just takes you everywhere. You're just going, oh, come on, man. Do I have to do this? Yeah, you're doing it for your grand. But
my nan, she's put the pressure on me. Right? If anyone else asked me, I'm like, no, I'm living up here. But anyway, the power of rugby league, actually, it made me realise what country football or that type of footy does. It brings everyone together, white, black, different, if you're a teacher or in the community without it, that brings everyone together. It sort of provides an opportunity where you can sort of mix and talk and build those relationships. And that's what I've seen out there. It was good to see so many different people sort of come together and playing the game and celebrating and having that. And it's such a powerful thing, especially in remote communities and smaller places out that way. It's very powerful for the communities to sort of have their sporting teams and to bring people together. Eh?
Do you still have relationships over there in Ivanhoe and
that's a lot of my family are from out there. So my nan's still living out there. It's hard to get out there as much as I'd like to, but a lot of my family out that way, all through New South Wales country. I've got a massive family, to be honest. They're spread across out that way, but know a lot of people everywhere out that way. Yeah.
Was rugby league always something that you wanted to do? So growing up?
Yeah, well, the first club I played for was Wagga Magpies, and then a lot of people in my family played rugby league, your uncles and your cousins and everything, and I wanted to do it. But I guess it was a time there when I was living with my nan out at Ivanhoe. You didn't get to play rugby league week in, week out because there wasn't enough people out there. So you'd get a team together and be all shapes and sizes, all different ages, and I'd just get absolutely ragdolled by my own cousins, actually just dragged along and just smashed. They wouldn't do it now, I'd hope, but but there actually sounds quite bad. I don't even know if I should say this publicly, but it used to be black fellas versus white fellas, and my own cousins and family were like, no, you go and play on the white fellas side, you got to play. So I'd play with the teacher's sons and the policeman's son or the local correction officer's sons, and I'd play against my own cousins and that, and just, they'd feed me, and I'd go home tearing and swearing and going home to net. But that was my first sort of experience of playing footy, and it did toughen me up, as in a way of just that's just the way you play, right? And then obviously all kids that play, you want to see those players on TV, and that's a bit of a way I guess a dream for any young one. Yeah.
So, how does a young kid from Ivanhoe get recognised?
Well, it's actually a very there's a lot to it, eh? Like my story in my life, it's been crazy, especially my childhood and some of the experiences. Like, it was a bit of a crazy time, but my first name was actually Joel Murdoch. This is a bit deep. I won't go too far in it, but I thought this other guy was my dad, but he wasn't. But I still have he's a big part of my life, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, I got split up from me brother and from me guy that I thought was my father, right? Anyway, I met my real dad for the first time. He was out there at Ivanhoe, and with his support and with my nan, I was getting myself in trouble even with police, with my cousins and different things, and they knew the best thing for me was to get out of the community and to get away from certain people I was hanging around. So with his help, with my real dad's help, biological dad, he sort of helped me, and with my nan, they got me into a boarding school in a place called Forbes, Catholic school, right? Boarding school. Yeah. So different to me. I was this little rough household kid, right? Coming from nothing. Now I've got to go to this real strict school where you have to pull your socks up and your tie straight and wear this blazer and that type of environment.
The transition.
The transition massively. Like, I'm seriously thinking I'm on a different planet. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's just something I was never used to. From there, this is where the rugby league sort of started. I was playing bits and pieces in different towns, like Gundagai and that, whenever I'd move around a bit. But here it was just more consistent. And for me, the train and to play, I had to have good behaviour at school. I just got around some good people, good support from some of the other kids' parents and some teachers there helped me. Started playing and then got picked up by Pedro Sullivan was out in some regional place where I was playing footy and spotted me out there playing, and then obviously signed me up at a young age to a Storm scholarship. And I'm just like, wow, getting around in me Storm, like the shirts that they give you, like thinking I'm the man wearing that around, like I've made it,
like we all do.
Yeah, like we all do. You wear it one day, wash it as quick as you can, put it back on. Like I'm the man.
I'm a Storm player.
I'm a Storm player. But anyway, got there, finished schooling. Struggled at school, like I'll be totally honest, struggled in school big time because I just didn't go to school and take it as serious when I was growing up. It was all survival for me as a young one. Like it really was. Like I wasn't going home getting told, oh, you got to do your homework and you got to be good at school. Like it just wasn't like that. It was survival. So I was a fair way behind other students. So had to work hard. Had to work really hard to catch up, and to finish year 12 was a big achievement for me. Not many in my family or from the community get to that year 12 and got there, and then went down to Melbourne and wow, opened my eyes up to a different world, man. Wow.
Because we crossed paths 2005.
Yeah.
We were just talking before.
Yeah.
Playing for the Catholics team.
Catholic school,
It was crazy because I remember like he was this tall, skinny, like he was a weapon on the field, bro.
Well, the thing is, I was just a real, and I say it all the time, like, okay, I had a few different skills, not compared to some other players out there, but I was just a very competitive player. Like, I just have a red hot crack, get smashed, go again, like that type of way. That's how I built my career off the back of that, just being really competitive and having a crack, and I guess, trying to put shots on when I shouldn't be, and just trying to run try and find halfbacks to run it.
But you were good at it because I remember because Aku was in. Do you remember? So do you know you had some nutters that
What
run.
was it? CCC?
CCC.
So he's all made CCC together?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
we played then, and I remember him running straight. I remember the first kickoff, he got a carry, and then he ran straight at the biggest dude. I went, bro, these guys are nutcase. And then you see Aquila coming in doing it as well. I was like, oh, we're on, man. We're on the train.
Yeah.
But that's sort of how I got started from a very young age. I guess it started from being out in the bush and playing against older cousins and different people, where I just had to, if I wasn't playing that way, I'd just get absolutely dominated. I had to, try and have a crack and go hard, eh?
Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So obviously you go from school, you go to Melbourne.
Yeah.
How long were you in Melbourne for?
Melbourne. So I was there for 1 year, right? So I made the Aussie schoolboys side, which was, cool as, especially from the country sort of places. Normally they're just absolutely full of all these
massive,
Sydney teams and all them bigger schools. So made that. Went over and done a tour. You know, you had Izzy and Kevy Proctor, who's at Currumba now with me. It's mad because
Shout out Kevy.
Shout out to Kevy there. But there's who else was there? Mitchell Pearce. Anyway, there was a lot of good players in that side.
Was Sepha
was there too.
Joseph Paulo?
Yes.
Wow, you had a man.
Man, it was a
team.
gun side, right? So I finished that, come back, done Melbourne Storm pre-season. Wow. So as you know, like you get these programs, you're meant to do so much fitness, so much weights. Yeah. Man, I'm out in the bush playing, right? Out in Forbes at the time, where a game of touch footy was your fitness, really. Like, and you know what I mean? It was pretty. You weren't really pushing yourself, and I actually lied, and I was writing down stuff like I've done this much fitness and this much, and I got down there, I got exposed in a massive way. Like, finished that tour, wasn't fit at all, didn't do weights, and just got down there and really got tested. Going into an NRL preseason with, you know, all your NRL, like your Cameron Smiths, your Greg Inglis, all that type of team, and you're this little kid from the bush that hasn't trained as much as he was meant to, and then went into that. And, man, I was wanting to quit so many times. I was just ringing my nan, like, Nan, I'm coming home. I said, I've had enough. Like, I need to get home. Didn't know how I was going to get home, but she kept on going, no, you're staying there. You stick it out. But, man, it was tough, It really tested me.
That's like when you think about that, like you look at the caliber of players that you're around, and you know you got the talent, you got the determination to get to the NRL eventually. Did that eat away at you, knowing that you had that opportunity?
Yeah, definitely. And I guess it was a big part of me, like those real cliche, like how much do I want? Like how hard do I want to work for this? Like, is that dreamy? Do you really want to go after it? Do you want to put the work in? And I guess I was so far behind. It was my own fault. Like, there's no one else's fault except my own. And for me, I realised I was at a different level, as in I'd go out and do wrestling sessions with the Melbourne Storm, you know, and I was getting thrown around still and getting smashed, and no other option but to get back up. And you know, I'm not saying this is Melbourne's fault, but I'd have these severe headaches just going bang because I'd be just getting jammed. But you had to keep on, like, if you wanted to make it, you have to keep on turning up. You have to keep on just doing that work to get to where you needed to be. And I guess it built a lot of resilience in me. I'm very thankful for that year. As much as I wanted to quit and I thought I was gonna be good enough. I just stuck it out, mainly from my nan and just believing in that was my dream. That's what I want to go towards, and I just had to put it in.
Shout out to Nan, but
yeah,
it takes one person, don't you reckon?
It definitely does, because I guess I didn't have the support as your mum and dad. You're sort of normal. My nan was a big part. I speak about her all the time, anytime I do a podcast or anything, because it was a big. You know, these conversations where I'd be ringing her, like I wouldn't be ringing anyone else, but I'd ring her, like, and she'd be the one who'd be like, come on, son, you're right. You just, you know, like, no, I just want to come home.
Those ones say, nah, just tough it out. But really, hey, really tough it out, you know?
No, there's no bed here for you. You're staying there. You're
not coming back here.
But, you know, I guess lucky I had someone like that. And I guess there was other people as well, don't get me wrong, but that was my main, person I went to for sure.
Bro, like, especially in Melbourne. Like, Melbourne's just what like the stories you hear, like we had Izzy talking about, he still thinks that's the hardest pre-seasons ever done in the last 4 years.
Again, Izzy, me and Izzy were together, like, back of the field in fitness. Like, we were so unfit. Like, we were right back. And I was glad, because I think I was just getting ahead of him. So he was, sorry,
you didn't say that on the podcast. You didn't say that on the podcast.
I was good, because I had him there to actually be in front of him.
Just all the pollies at the back, bro.
And I was with him, like, I'm always been at the back. But I guess it's what it takes, right? It's all good having a dream, and you want to be play NRL, you want to be this and that. You got to put the work in, man. There's no, it's not going to land on your lap, as you guys know yourselves in life. You just got to put in the work. You got to rip in and pick yourself up when you really don't want to, and go forward.
Well, 100%.
Well, I guess it is a bit of for me, the way you explain it, I guess it was a wake up call, because, like, you had the Australian schoolboys, like, you know, we know Australian schoolboys, that gets you the ticket into a top 30 squad. So you pretty much had that. So you probably would have went in there with that mindset going, oh, no, it's going to happen. But it didn't.
I did. You know the biggest thing too? I probably set myself up for that mindset, as in you're playing in the bush, you're the man out in the bush, getting all these tries, thinking, I'm making Australian school boys, high five, and I'm getting these mad training shirts from Storm. You know, things are going to go good. And then I get down there with real men who are absolute professionals and at a different level to, they're there, I'm here. And that's just the reality of it. And I wasn't set up to go down there and be up here, or not even halfway. I had to really catch up, and that was just putting in the work, man.
Did you find yourself like, when you were probably later in your days, like at the NRL clubs, and you goes, another Australian schoolboy. Like, did they have that same mindset? Some of those boys that would have came through the ranks.
Maybe,
like when you were like
little bit. I reckon. Like, I guess it's changed. It really has changed the mentality and the environment now with young professionals coming through. They're a lot more confident in themselves. Like, I guess because they do a lot more training and they do social media. I guess a lot more younger players now have a lot more confidence in themselves and where they're at. They're coming in going, I want that spot, and I'll let you know. Like, that's my spot. That's a different mentality now, and I guess it's just that's the time we're in. But for me, I was still as much as I thought I was a man in my own way. I was still very humble as in I'd get up and make sure I didn't take a seat of one of the older players. I didn't speak out of school. I kept my mouth shut. It took me a long time to get that confidence actually to speak up and talk, and then I started playing a bit of first grade, and I was probably talking too much, to be honest. But like it took me a while to get to that point. Yeah.
What was your debut like, bro?
Debut.
When did you debut?
2008. So 2008 wasn't the best, to be totally honest. I played against the Bulldogs. It's actually...
He's got to win that game. Hey.
Yeah. So I had my nan. So my nan's from, obviously, Ivanhoe. She had to catch a train from Ivanhoe to Sydney, Central Station, which is, I think it's maybe like 10 to 12 hours on this train.
Wow.
Catch a bus or get transport to Canberra to come and watch me debut. And I was like, again, thinking, I'm going to put on a show here. Didn't. I think I dropped the ball maybe or something like that. I had a shocker. But back then we had a debut bonus. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they still do them in NRL, but this actually sounds bad. I'm retired now. It doesn't really matter. But my main thing was like, I'm getting that bonus coming in. I'm going to have a good off season. I had races lined up. I had these so many things. I just couldn't wait for that bonus to hit my bank account. And then, as much as I was disappointed in myself dropping the ball and not playing the best in my debut, my nan travelling so far, that was probably the biggest thing. I didn't care about anyone else, just more or so her. I soon recovered when my debut bonus come in, and I had a good little off season there.
How was the phone call though? When you told Nan? Was that?
Yeah, obviously very emotional. I guess there's only certain people in my life that actually know everything about me, like the real stuff around my life and where I've been and how I've been, and so Nan's one of those people that sort of knows what it took to get to that debut. Like, it's just a journey and the path and the different hurdles where it's just, I guess it meant more and very emotional because it just hits a little bit different compared to others. Like some people, they say, oh yeah, he had a pretty tough start and all this other, but not really know the deeper details and how tough it really was. So she was one of them that, it's quite makes me want to get emotional, but it makes, it meant a lot to people like her and some other people close to me for sure.
Wow, that's amazing.
When did you, obviously, because like you made the shift up to Canberra and all that, when did you realise, oh man, like, this is actually becoming like, I can either go in two directions, I can either go in this. When did that really kick in for you?
So I'll just take you back. So at Storm, I went from there up to Brisbane and played at Brisbane Devils, like the Q Cup, and played up there. And I guess done my trade up there and played. So I enjoyed it up there. Wasn't working. I had a 1 day experience working and like pretty much quit at smoke. I had a girlfriend at the time, and if she's listening, but she supported me at the time. Like didn't have a job. She was working. She was having her family help support me. I was just lazy, man. And I went to do this job and quit. And I was meant to be anyway, that was a different experience altogether. I was coming from nothing. Then I went down, took the opportunity of Canberra. And at the time, my mum and I felt like it was a bit of my responsibility to go back and help my brothers and sisters in a way.
Yep.
You know, I thought I was going to be this big saviour and this big, you know, going back to support them, and took the opportunity to sign to Canberra, left the Storm, went to Canberra, and again playing there, and yeah, just on a bit of a roller coaster. Just a bit lost in different ways, and then made my debut. And the next year I got an opportunity to play more games because of an injury to Joel Monahan, so I went out and played in the centres, and then just went from there, I guess, and. I guess I had good coaches around me that believed in me and sort of just gave me that crack. So then I knew, like, damn, I can really keep on working hard and making a
Man,
life.
I remember playing against yourself when I was playing at Newcastle down in Canberra. I think we might have been playing against each other on the same edge, man. I could just remember this guy just so quick, just running like sharp, massive, lines, fast lines. And I just can't. Holy heck, who is this dude, bro?
Well, see, I wish I could go back to that little time. but like, I'm not using it as an excuse. Like, I'm not saying it, but I had a bit of a osteopubis, like an injury.
Yeah.
So I went from being moving quick and stepping and feeling mad, not much of a passing game, but still moving a lot better, to like going into, all right, I need to transition into the forwards now. So I took myself from the backs and moving into the forwards. But it was good. Like, them early years, like, there was some purple patches there. You know, you only get these little purple patches where you can make the most of it. Like, I feel like your energy, your fitness, your the way you move, your body's feeling, like, you have these where you can really be like, take it to that next level into rep honors and different stuff. And I guess I look back and I don't know if I was good enough or if I was, but I feel like I probably didn't take advantage, and especially for the young ones listening, like, when you have them moments, do not waste any time. You know, you really give it a red hot crack. If that's looking after yourself off the field, if that's putting in the work and staying behind and working on areas of your game that you need to, like, give it everything you got, because when that purple patch and that window closes, it's a little bit tougher to get where you want to be. And I look back and I probably, my window closed, and then I didn't get to where I thought I could have, and that was probably something that I sort of look back on.
That's so good, because, man, like, you still did a pretty solid career. Like, you had over 200 plus games, bro.
I'm very grateful and for the career I had. Like, great experiences too, and met some really good people. And I reckon I grew up a lot through the game, in different ways. Like, again, reflecting back now, a little bit older and a bit more mature, I guess I was driven a bit by ego. Like, I was out of control at times. Like, my behaviour was just absolutely ridiculous. And, very lucky now. My wife stayed solid, 12 years. But there was times there she should have ran for the hills. But she stayed solid. And it was all through that period where I had to grow up and have a good look at myself. Like, what type of father or husband am I here? Like, I'm just nowhere near where I should be. And it was all through that journey of rugby league, I reckon. Like, that helped me be where I am now, I guess.
Yeah, I guess we all go through it, man. Like, you look back over your career and like, you think about, like, the regrets that you may have. Does any of them stick out for you in particular?
I guess there's different. And now, like, you're a little bit older, would you change it? Because I don't know if I would now in different ways, because it actually just gave me them experiences to be where I am now. The type, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you need to go through them in life, I feel. But I guess the way I sort of treated my family, more so my wife and my kids earlier when they were younger, like, I guess my behaviour at times was just nowhere near good enough, you know, the drinking and the party and the different stuff like that. It's just, I had to get some serious help and have a good look at myself and to see who I was, because it wasn't the person I wanted to be at all. And I guess that's probably one part I probably regret, because it more so impacted them, like, impacted my wife, you know. She probably... had to pick me up from these crazy benders or different random locations, and I've lost my phone, lost my wallet, stuck in Sydney. Or, one time actually, and should be listening to this, and one time I was stuck in Campbelltown train station and with no wallet, no phone, no nothing. Had training on the next day, and she had to come and pick me up, and like, there's all these different stories. I said to her, she should write a book if she ever left me. And so, so all them things, like, that was the biggest thing I regret. Nothing about footy. Footy's not everything for me, but more so the impact and what I'd done to my family, because I was just my ego was just out of control, and I didn't really, do the things I should have been as a husband and father.
So did you? Yeah, I know. Like we don't want to go too deep in
Yeah.
that, but did you get help? Like,
Yeah, I did. And again, I come from an environment, right? Just to put it out there, I come from like a bush community, and the males around me were like, just again like hard men, like just as in, you drink, you fight, you play footy hard, like all that type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Nothing ever was mentioned or talked about was mental health or suffering or bad behaviour or your emotion, all this type of stuff. It's all new. It's only started to really be talked about more recently. But back then, I definitely questioned myself. I'm like looking at myself, going, "Why am I feeling like this? What's wrong with me?" Like hating myself, having these like internal like with myself, just going, "Are you like saying, seriously, what's wrong? Are you soft? What's wrong with you? Why are you feeling this way?" But for me, as the people who's probably listening now, people close to me, or definitely in my little circle of real close mates and family and that, drinking has had a different impact, a big impact at me at different stages because that's the only way I thought was the deal with your problems, right? Just drink, party, like they go away. They don't, right? That's the wrong way. It's probably a coward way to deal with things, and I was one of them. And there's some points there where my career was, in the balance, or I didn't know what I was doing, and my relationship and all that type of stuff, where getting help was the only option, or was the option for me to be better and to actually just get the help and talk to someone about how it all come back from, to be totally honest, from my childhood, it just was never discussed, right? Just sort of just get on with it, and that's what it sort of come from, and I just didn't get help for it, and I finally did. And not saying it worked straight away. It took a lot of years, a lot of different things, and just to get where I am now, it took a lot of work.
Man, that's crazy to think that like you probably had all those problems, but you still carved out a freaking awesome career in NRL.
Well, the thing is, right? The thing is, it's not even a funny thing, really. I don't know why I'm saying it's funny, but like even with all that, you escape from everything that's going on is through being around a group of just training, working hard, playing on the weekend, going hard. It sort of like made any type of like head noise or anything sort of go away in a way, and then you'd put your energy into stuff. You had a bit of a purpose, right? And that's why you see after football, after things, you need that purpose to get you out of bed. What's going to be getting you some motivation to keep on moving forward and being 100%. Better and working towards something. So rugby league did do that. It's probably saved me in a big way. Like I look at, my brothers, unfortunately, who are currently, one just got out, but the other one's locked up, and they probably haven't had the experiences like me to work hard on myself and to getting the professional help, especially around childhood trauma or all that type of stuff that's never discussed, right? I had that through the people around in rugby league and the support and different stuff to give me that opportunity to really get the help that I needed. And I guess others out there don't have that as much. And that's why I guess I was lucky in that way.
But it's good that you admitted it. Like, you came with it. Because sometimes, bro, we just hold it within, especially with men,
And the thing, like, as men, right, like, even for me to share about it, I still question, like, I knew people would have an opinion of me, and I knew, I remember I was actually at the Dragons. I signed from the Raiders when I was going through all this period, and went to the Dragons, and I lost a cousin close to me from... he was from out in the country, and it was losing a lot of people out in the remote places, around people not getting help and all that type of stigma and everything else. And there was an opportunity for the NRL State of Mind to share my story and to like share it publicly. Like that's a big step. Like to go out there and share it publicly. It's all right talking about it with your friends and your circle, but to go out there and share it with the world to another step. And I guess there was a moment there where I was like, and I had a conversation with my wife. I'm like, I think I need to do more. I need to speak more about something because it's not being spoken about enough. We're not sharing these real stories. Like maybe if I seen someone else's story, it would have took away a lot of years of pain and suffering and everything else. Like seriously. And I thought maybe it could help someone else, a younger player or someone else to go, hey, I need to start looking at myself and getting some help or getting some support. So I'd done a bit of a story with my wife back then. It was a long time ago now. It might have been, I can't give you numbers, might have been 8 or 10 years ago or sometime. But that was more so, and I questioned, like, players will think I'm soft. The coach won't pick me. He'll think I'm not there, and people think I'm looking for intent, all that type of stuff. But I just knew it was the right thing to do. Like, besides all the noise and everything else, it was the right thing to do, to share it publicly and trying to, I guess, help others out there that might need it. It's important. I feel like it is. And we see it now. Like, there's a lot of it out there now. People are feeling more confident to talk about it and doing different stuff. Like, it's good. But back then, it really wasn't.
No,
that wasn't at all.
Yeah.
So that was like a big moment to do that. And, man, it would blow you away, some of the messages I got from players at the time, and especially people in the community saying, hey, man, I didn't know this about you, but that actually helped me to do this, do that. And I'm like, man, well, that's something.
It's
right?
huge, bro.
Yeah.
That's huge, man. That's crazy
huge.
because, like, you know, like you look at like the stuff that you do now, but like back then you were already doing it. Like, so like you come out, you speak about like your problems that you had, and you're like, state of mind's like, you know, the stepping stone to all that kind of stuff. And then you go on and like you do the community stuff and you win the Ken Stevens medal and all that, eh?
Yeah, no, I did. But I guess it's been a big part of me. Like, even though I look back and sometimes I contradicted some of the messages because I was still battling myself. I was still drinking. My behaviour wasn't good, but I was still going to do these talks, right? And it started back at the community stuff when I was at Canberra, helping out in the Youth Justice Centre at the Juvie and doing different community stuff. And I felt like it was a little bit of a way for me to have a bit more of a purpose. Like, rugby league's cool, don't get me wrong. Very lucky to have, but it wasn't everything for me. Like, it really wasn't. I felt like I had a bit of a responsibility. Like, I've got this story I see out there. I know what it's like, starving. I know what it's like not to have nothing. I know what it's like to have family members in and out of wherever and the struggle, the real struggle out there. I felt like I had a bit of a responsibility to do something, to give back and to sort of make a bit of a positive impact or do something. And I've always stayed solid to that. I've done it for a very long time now, and I'll never stop doing it because I feel like I'm here on this earth. I'm here to do that, I feel. And I've seen some really good changes through that time.
Bro, that's awesome because, bro, your testimony is so powerful, man. And 100%. You've made an impact, whether you know it or not. But, man, like, it's crazy how you expressing that a lot of people message you. And
it was. And that's the power of it all. And I guess I was doing a lot of that. Now where I am now, I can actually help people with a qualification and help people get into jobs, which is a big winner. But it all started right back then. I've just always stayed true to myself without all the outside noise and everyone's opinion. Didn't care. I knew from my experience, I grew up white skin, right, in Aboriginal communities. I saw it was different, man. It was different for some of my cousins and bro. Like it really was. And I'm happy to say it publicly because I had to pull people up who felt comfortable to be racist and to say these certain things. And I knew I got a bit of a head start, not a bit, a big head start in life with white skin, but also being able to play rugby league that took me on a journey to be a professional athlete. Like if I didn't have them, where would I be? I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to you. I really don't. Yeah. And that's why I felt like there was a way to go back and I never forgot those experiences and what I saw, what I heard, to go back and to help others, to pull them up, go, hey, this life ain't it. Like, you deserve to go out there and, get trained and get a job and to support you and your family and to move forward. And, everyone deserves those opportunities, eh?
100%. It's your identity. It's proof in the pudding, man. Like, you've come from, Ivanhoe, bit of a rough area, but at the same time, man, like you're giving back and you're helping these people.
Yeah, definitely.
Get places.
And I've just, some of the stories even recently in the last year since I've got YAKKA going, like some of the stories is just, crazy, and it just makes me realise how important it is and how important it's needed. Not just Indigenous, Polynesians, non-Indigenous, across Australia, right? There's some people out there really. Sometimes we don't see it. We only see the news, youth crimes out of control, the jails over, all this stuff. There's a reason behind that. And a big part of that is a bit of a purpose, a bit of getting the real genuine training and support and going into a job and being supported to move forward in life. And that's sort of what I've been doing and, going to continue doing it.
Yeah, nice.
Bro, you transition into business now, man. How's that been going, bro? How's the journey from there, transitioning from NRL to that? How was that?
Yeah, man, the transition, so... I was over in England, St. Helens, great club. Stayed there.
Up the
tried to come in and feel an absolute superstar.
No.
Absolute king over there. Anyway, I went in there. Wanted to spend 2 or 3 years over there playing. I really did, but I just wasn't up to it. Like I went to obviously Dragons, then went to Manly. Had a bit of a moment there where like where I had a drinking issue. I had I was in a bad way and had a head injury from an accident. From that, I had one more year, and I was like, I need to just get away. I need to start again. If that's going to be retire or try and go and look overseas.
Yeah.
What it was is I went overseas, right? I went over there and went to St. Helens. Again, tried to go there and give myself a good 2 or 3 years there playing, and I just wasn't up to it. I really wasn't. Like my body was just letting me down. And as a athlete, like you hold yourself to a standard. When you don't get there, you're like, damn, you get so filthy on yourself. Hey, like you're your own biggest critic, right? And went over there and had a crack. And there at the time, it was during COVID, absolute chaos, right? My wife's sister relapsed with leukemia, which is absolutely horrible, and she was going through that challenges, and we couldn't get back to Australia to get back there and support her. My wife wanted to go home. There was just no flights going back to Australia during that COVID period. So it was a really bad experience over there. So my last year of footy sucked, like wasn't playing how I should have. Family things going on back in Australia where we couldn't get back. So I hated it. I just wanted to get back to Australia and be there to support my sister-in-law, going through what she was going through in the family. And the only way we got back was through a government flight, like a direct flight from London to Darwin, and done our 2 weeks up there. Right?
Yeah.
So we couldn't get any commercial flights. Anyway, got back a little bit lost, as in like, what am I going to do? Work. I had a mate that's got a rail construction company, and he had an opportunity to come in there and start working. Had no idea about rail industry at all, and just threw myself into it, like just labour, and started like doing everything, but loved it. Just loved it, being in that environment, and enjoyed it. And then got to a point there where like I want to do more. I feel like I can go out and stick to my purpose, actually, helping people, be better, and that's through training and employment, that type of thing. So threw myself into business, and wow, what an experience! What an experience! Yeah, made some really dumb decisions, Like I really did. Like I just thought I knew it all and I could do it. It's going to be easy, man. I can't wait to have this lifestyle where my own business, and I can get up when I want and, do all the things that, you think but it's not like that. I had to really, made some mistakes, but still in there having a crack.
I think that's part of the journey, Like, as rugby league players, you spoke about being in Melbourne, you had to work your way up. You knew that, man, there's a massive gap there. So you had to fill those years of experience. And how long you been in the industry now?
So we've just had just over a year now. I've had YAKKA going,
So you would have learned a lot in those 12 months.
Man, like I'll be totally honest, so I don't get taken to court. Like I could share some I could share some real experiences which will just blow people away. But anyway, just to touch on a few, I hired people too quick, man. I didn't know what the usual, going through due diligence and going through people's resumes and getting to know people. I was just like, come in, you look good, let's go, let's crack on, hiring people. Had all these like, I was thinking I was going to take on all this work and I was going to build this mad business, but things just went wrong. I hired the wrong people. Lost some contracts, some big contracts that was going to, really move me forward in business. What else did I do? Just made some mistakes, and that was more so me. That was me just, I guess, trusting people and really getting a little bit too far ahead of myself in some ways. And there was times there where I hired my wife. She's a school teacher. I said, come here, like, don't worry about the school teacher anymore. You're working with me. Come over here. She's like, brought her over, and then, cash flow, right? Paying when you got to pay wages and you got to pay rent and you got to pay all these different things. And man, I wasn't making enough cash. Didn't have enough business coming in, and I had to sack my wife. Had to let her go. Had to let go of a friend who was, I grew up with as a trainer. I had him on a wage, and I had big hopes for him, but I just couldn't carry him because of just, business and cash flow and making some errors. So, definitely some times there where a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of question, like, what have I done? Because it wasn't just my sacrifice. It was on all the family. Like, you know, all my life savings I put on the line because I had this vision, I had this dream. And so instead of buying a house for me and the family and the money that we've saved to buy a nice family home, I put that money into the business to try and get that going. So it's not just me impacted, it's my daughters, you know, having, you know, one bathroom, and we're in a small little one of our properties now, but it's a smaller little place, no yard, you know, it's quite tiny, and you know, that's the sacrifice I put on all the family to go after my vision, my dream of this business. And there was a point there I nearly lost it all. Like where bills were coming in heavy, and I learned a lot about myself and others. Don't trust.
Yeah.
No, you can trust people, but just be very careful in who you bring in and who you, I guess you put a bit of faith in. And now, you know, just over a year, never easy. Every day you got a different problem to solve, and it's all part of it, I guess.
100%, because you go through like life doing business with people, and you start to see the circle start getting smaller. Eh? And we spoke about that with Ice the other time. He had the same thing. Like he was going through that, and it was like it's all part of the experience. But during the time, you're like,
man,
what do I do, man?
Like with me too. Like I've brought people into my own home, and I'm very protective of my home. As in, I don't know, like my home's, you know, it takes a very special person to bring. I don't know. Yeah. And I, brought someone in, gave them dinners and everything, and they'll just lying to my face and just absolutely just taking me for a ride and just played me, you know, and to a point it hurt me big time in a business. And like I said, when you nearly lose everything, but it's not just you impact. It's okay if it's just me. I'm all right. I can go and have anything and go again. But when you got a young family and you've got houses and you've got everything on the line, it hits different and it means more. And that's where, I felt the real stress of it all, and took some really good lessons. And again, them lessons have been probably the best thing for me in business and realising, what it takes, I guess.
Yeah, it's like we always go back to that word resilient, man. Like you've done it before. So it's just like, okay, sweet, we're in, and it's a different ball game business. It's like, like you have to, like, I don't believe anyone that says, nah, I'm successful straight away on business. You've got to make the big mistakes, man.
And you got to learn to really leverage off your strengths. Like my strengths, even through football, was just working hard, like just going hard, and that's what I had to do in business. Like I had to get up, like, your 4:30s and 5 o'clocks and put work in and just do whatever I could, because I wanted to make sure I had the balance right of, like, spending time with my family and having those little moments, if it's walking them to the bus stop or I knew that was important for me. It couldn't be all one way. So I needed to make sure how was I going to do it. Stop watching TV as much as I used to. Like, your Netflix and you're watching sports or doing everything. Like I had to really make the sacrifice. So I had the family time, I had my business time. And even now, I'm just nearly completed another Cert 4 in training and assessing. Like, for me to complete that with managing a business and managing staff, I had to make sacrifices, and that was working on the weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, early, at night, like doing whatever I had to get it done. And that's what I had to do in business. Only way I recovered is putting in that work, eh? No other way around it. I wouldn't have climbed myself out of that deep hole unless I put it in there and had a crack, eh?
With all those experience that you had for that year, what are you going to do different now?
Hire slowly, like really hire slowly, like really get to know them. Don't care about their resumes, what type of people they are, what's their life looking like at the moment. Are they going through a divorce? Are they have a gang? I don't know, whatever. What's really going on in their life, and who are you? What type of character are you bringing into your business? And more so, your time's everything. Like I would always say yes, and it's something I still do, but doing stuff what's not worth really, like in business, like it's not going to make me much money or not going to do stuff, but I'd still go, it's the right thing to do. But really make sure you say yes to the really important stuff and not say yes to everyone, because you just spread yourself too thin and you across everywhere, and you get lost in business. But the biggest one, hire slowly who you and build your capital. When you think you got enough cash there to support you, think again, like just keep on
Double up.
double up. Nah, seriously, like the cash I had to put into it to keep it running is just, it's everything. I just had to keep on finding more and to keep it moving, And
Bro.
so, like I said, having all those experiences and, even my wife crying, we're looking at each other going, what have we done? What have I done? Because I dragged them into it. Like, what have I done? I'm questioning myself and holding a lot. But all the experiences, I'm sort of in a weird way through, again, we talk about lessons and failures and very thankful. I know a lot of different people out there talk about it because it's true. Like, I am sort of lucky in a way to have them because it has made me who I am now in business and the choices I make and being a bit more careful.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man.
No, just keep going, man. Just keep going with the journey, man, because I just feel like, there's always going to be light at the end of the tunnel, man.
Bro.
Yeah, and like I said earlier too, like business is like high five and life's good. Yeah, I'm going to do this, we're going to set. And then you get like some news, like I had some news this morning where you just realise you just stay neutral with it. It's not like the best news, it's not the worst news in the world, but you just have neutral. Like I lost a lot of work on a job up in Brisbane, but that's just the reality of business. You have those roller coaster moments, and you know you're going to have good weeks. You're going to have really bad weeks, and it's just what you just ride it and you just become neutral. Like you just go, yep, it is what it is. Let's just move on and just get on with it and keep on working to be better in it.
No, it's good, man. I know that, man, we're both NRL ambassadors, and I know you've done a lot with the NRL over the last couple of years. Yeah, you're out there with our boy Toops, delivering the State of Mind program. That's sort of like a good escape or two, you know.
Yeah, it is, and it's been really good because I've been involved in those programs from right at the beginning. Yeah. So I've seen it from when they started doing those, the work that they do to where it is now. It's grown so much, and it'll keep on again improving. It's much needed out in the community. I guess rugby league's always been a vehicle for social change and positive messages. If again, whites, blacks, no matter who you are or what colour, whoever background, it's always been a really positive thing. So, and you reach the ones that you can through that game.
Hopefully, hey Toops, if you're listening, get me on a gig with
take us.
Joel T, bro. Come on, man, we'll kill it out there.
Nah, definitely. Like, and it's always good too because you work with. You go and do these workshops with different players, and you get to meet them more. You know them, but you don't know them enough. But when you spend a week with them, you're like, oh, they're cool. And you like the little things that they do, and they're different. But it's been good. And like I said, it's something that I've always done from back in the playing days and from when the start.
It's a good crew that we got there. Eh? Yeah. There's a lot of good players past players that come out and do it.
And again, they don't Toops and that team. They don't go and choose everyone. They know the ones that are generally like want to make an impact or do good things, or they've done it during their career, so they continue, giving them these opportunities to go out there. Like, but it's always been a good thing to do.
No, bro, man. We appreciate you sharing, man.
100%.
But our audience is watching, bro. We just want to see a key message that you can share.
What's a key message, man?
Again, a lot of the messages I just I guess I shared during this talk, but I guess stay true to yourself and who you are, and I guess that's a big thing for me. Like, there's always going to be outside noise. There's going to be people's opinions and people talking rubbish, but the big thing is just keep those good people around you and just stay true to yourself and what you believe and who you are. And I guess I've always done that. Like, when people question me or if there's been people just talking, I just didn't care. Like, all I care about is the people that are like my brothers and like the people close to me and staying true of who I am and what I believe and what I want to do and achieve. And that's for anyone that's listening. Like, that's probably the biggest thing in life. Don't ever change who you are and what you're doing and then believe in yourself in that way.
Thank you so much, man.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you for coming down and sharing your story, bro. It's you've made a massive impact on our community, bro. So
thanks for having me. Love what you're doing too. Like, good platform. Love the conversations, and it's only like I said, just if you can make an impact out there for whoever it is, take some of the stuff that you get off these podcasts and have a crack.
Before we finish, give the Yakka training a plug, man.
Let's go. Yeah. So I brought the shirt. I'll put the shirt on for it. But Yakka. Again, we're Yakka Train. We're an RTO. We're doing a lot of training qualifications in rail, but also we're now into civil and hopefully expand. But it's giving people the qualifications to go out there and get jobs, I guess, and to provide a bit more as well. looking at days how to manage money better, how to be a professional in the workplace, safety, fit for duty. So adding that as well in the qualification. Instead of just giving someone a qualification, go, all the best, go out there and be successful. There's all these different, as you know, parts of being good at anything, and they need to work. So that's, continuing to do that. Reach out if you're looking for a qualification or whatever else, and happy to support.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
to our listeners out there, if you
Sign up.
need the training, sign up, man. Sign up to YAKKA. Let's
go.
go.
Rail or civil, let's go. I'm happy to support.
My
So
man.
good, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Hey, we'll close it out. Special mention to our sponsors, SMSF Learning Center, Newbie Blanks. Anyone else?
YAKKA training.
YAKKA training. YAKKA's jumping on board.
One day.
Yeah.
Once I'm finally out of the hole, I'll be back. I'll be able to support.
Nah, but we appreciate a lot of the sport. We have been getting a lot of, good
Feedback.
good feedback about the podcast, and we'll just keep going with it.
Yeah, solid. Like I said, not just saying this. It's good little pal. I'll watch you a little bit. It's cool. It's a very casual, very nice. But it's the more so the people out there listening. Like, take these messages and really, like, for anyone that's starting up a business, get ready for a war. Like, get ready to put in the work. Like, if you want to get there, or if you want to start out your career, learn to work for it. It's not going to land for it. You got to put it in. So, very good.
Nah,
Thanks, Jolie.
appreciate
bro.
it.
The man,
Thanks,
bro.
brother.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Easy.
Easy.